So we said, well, firstly we're going to memorize. We said the first 6 scales of fa'ala. We mentioned the 3-letter past scales are made of how many? We have 3 or 4. How many are there? No. The past 3-letter past scales. Fa'ala. What's the other one? Fa'ila and fa'ula. Those are the 3. Fa'ala, fa'ila and fa'ula. The change is only in the ayn. Okay? Please remember that. Fa'ala, fa'ula and fa'ila. And last week we took from fa'ala, he did. Fa'ala, they did. Fa'alu again, they did. Fa'alat, she did. Fa'alata, they did. But it's feminine. And fa'alna, they did. Feminine again. That is what we took last week. And these are the scales that should have been memorized. And last week I mentioned the pronouns are hidden in which ones? How many times are they hidden? Which ones? No. Fa'ala is hidden because look, it's just the 3 root letters. The fa, the ayn and the lam, those are always the root letters. Whenever you find the word, you look for the fa, the ayn and the lam, that'll be your root letters. And where else is it hidden? Fa'alat. So why is there an increase of a ta if it is hidden in fa'alat? Yes, it makes it feminine. Do you remember the name? Ta? Ta or ta'neeth. Yes. Ta or ta'neeth. The ta of feminization. Okay? So today, for those I missed it, we took from fa'alta. If you look at mufrad, you go down 3. If you go down, you have fa'ala, then fa'alat, then fa'alta. Fa'alta. With an increase of a ta with a fatha on it. Fa'alta. So if you go to the next slide. So fa'alta. If we were to put any verb on this fa'alta, that is on the scale fa'ala. For example, we have dhahaba. Dhahaba, he went. So if I was to ask you, how do you say, if you were to ask me, how do you say he went? I'll tell you dhahaba. And from there, you have to conjugate whatever it is you want to say. If you want to say I went, he went, she went, if you memorize the scales, you will know. Okay? So if you know sarf, now you'll know how to say you did, you went. I'll say dhahaba means to go. And you'll know, put on the scale fa'alta, you get dhahabta. And now you'll know to say you went means dhahabta. Dhahabta. Aina means where? Dhahabta. Where did you go? Al-jawab. Do you know, I'm not even going to read the jawab. I'm going to come back to the answers. So aina dhahabta means where did you go? And if you put the verb akala, which means to eat, on the scale fa'alta, the result is yes, you eat. So how do you say you ate in Arabic? How do you say you ate? Yeah. The verb is akala. Akalta. Akalta. Mada akalta. And all of these are used for questioning. Aina means where. Mada means what, which comes with the verbs. Okay? With the verbs. And then the last one, which was kataba. Kataba. 3 letters. Kataba. To write. On a scale fa'alta. Our result is katabta. Okay. The next question is for everyone but the brother. Someone else has to answer. Otherwise it's just him understanding. Okay? Fa'alta. That's our scale. Then the next scale that we'll take is you both did. You both did. We have our root letters fa'ala plus tuma. What I mean by root letters is, if you look at dhahabtuma, the first example, aina dhahabtuma, the root letters are in black, and the red is the increase. You see? Everything in black is the root letter. Can you see? and the increase is in red. Because I can drop the tuma and replace it with a ta, or a t, or a tum. But you can't drop the ha and a ba, because then you've changed the meaning. The ha and ba returns back to the verb. That is the root letters which the verb is made of. Dhahaba. Okay? So dhahabtuma. On the scale, fa'altuma. We've increased it by someone else? Tuma. Tuma. And a detached pronoun for fa'altuma, or the tuma, is antuma. If I say antuma, you two, that's a detached pronoun. I won't say you. Anta is singular. Antuma, you. The plural is antum. So we have anta, antuma, antum. This comes in the book. I'll show you in the book soon. Okay? So, okay, and I said I'm not going to read the jawab. So the next one will be ماذا أكلتما. We've done akalta, now is akaltuma. Who can translate this? ماذا أكلتما. What did you both eat? Yes. And I'm only saying both because of the translation. But if you were to translate directly, you say, what did you eat? As I mentioned, you comes in English, for the Arabic, 6 times. You, 6 times. But in Arabic, it differentiates between who we're addressing and who is speaking. So when I say, ماذا أكلتما, what did you both eat? And then the last one is kataba again. Kataba plus tuma. On a scale, fa'altuma. ماذا كتبتما. Now, can I address 3 people and say, ماذا كتبتما? Can I address one person and say, ماذا كتبتما? So how do I address one person? كتبت. Okay, we'll do the jam' now. Now this is for 3 or more. We're still in second person. فعلتم. فعلتم. That is a scale for 3 or more. You. فعلتما means you, and فعلتم means you. Now someone that studies Sarf, you should know there's a difference between the 3. 3. فعلت, فعلتما, and فعلتم. So now we've increased it a bit by, yes, tum. We have our fa'ala plus the tum. So fa'altum means you all did. Everyone here, if I'm speaking to everyone in this masjid, if I say, how do you say to sit? You know the verb to sit. Jalasa. Now how would I say you all sat right now? Jalastum. Sah. Jalastum. That is how you say you all sat. Okay? Now does this include sisters or just brothers? If I say jalastum. Everyone, yes. Everyone is included in the jam' for the masculine. So we have Aina dhahabtum. Where did you all go? Aina dhahabtum. Mada akaltum. And also we have Mada katabtum. So every single one of these verbs are on a scale fa'altum. Every single one of them should have the tum at the end, which indicates antum, you all, masculine. So we did fa'alta, fa'altuma, fa'altum. Ikram, can you read the 3 scales that we just did? Fa'alta, fa'altuma, and fa'altum. That one is the question. That one should be memorized. And we're going to put you all in groups at the end. You all have to read to someone. Okay? We took fa'alta, fa'altuma, fa'altum. And if I understood the question properly, what we're learning now is the theory, and then after we've done the theory, we'll learn the meaning of the words. Okay? So here we should already know dhahaba, we should know akala, and we should know kataba. If I've understood the question properly. The meaning. So we're going to learn the theory, then we're going to learn the meaning of the verbs. And this will come towards the end of this lesson, how we'll do this. Okay? So we've done the second person for the males. There were 3. 1, 2, and a jam'. Now we go to the second slide, which is the feminine. We have fa'alti. Okay, don't get mixed up with fa'alta. Fa'alta, you did as a man. Fa'alti, you did as a woman, with a kasr. So the same scale, ذهب. On the scale, fa'alti. The result is ذهبتي. So we say أين ذهبتي. Can I ask a man أين ذهبتي? No. On the scale فعلتي. You might even offend. So we say كتب. No, we'll do أكل. أكل. We want to ask her, what did you eat? ماذا أكلتي. You ask her, ماذا أكلتي. And the last one, كتب. You want to ask her, what did you write? On the scale فعلتي, result is كتبتي. So ذهبتي, أكلتي, كتبتي. Even if you weren't reading, you'd hear the sound. They all sound the same. صح? فعلتي, ذهبتي, أكلتي, كتبتي. They all sound the same sound pattern. We'll move on to the next one. Okay, what I did here was I mentioned for fa'altuma. I mentioned this is for both who? The male and the female. If you go to the very first slide, go to the first slide. So look, if you look at the middle, fa'altuma, it comes twice. If you look at where it says muthanna, which is the middle one, go down, fa'ala, fa'alata, then you see fa'altuma. So, and if you look underneath again, fa'altuma, it comes on both the mudhakkar and the mu'annath. It comes twice. So you can use it for both. Write that down. You can use it for 2 men, 2 women, or a man and a woman. So if I say, أين ذهبتما, I can be speaking to who? 2 men, 2 women, or a mix. That is why I didn't do fa'altuma twice in the slides. We went straight to fa'altunna. Fa'altunna, which is under jam', the second last. You go to jam', we have fa'alu, fa'alna, fa'altum, then we have fa'altunna. Fa'altunna. This indicates what? Second person. Female. How many? 3 or more. Jam'. Because underneath jam', it's underneath jam', mukhatabatun, which is a feminine second person, and mu'annath, feminine. Okay, so we'll go to the slide number 6. Fa'altunna. This will be the last of the second person. Fa'altunna. You all did. And the detached pronoun for tunna is antunna. Antunna muslimat. You say that. Antunna. And if it's attached, we'll say tunna. So we have fa'altunna. Fa'altunna. We have our root fa'ala increased by the ta and the nun. So we have for dhahaba, we say dhahabtunna. Aina dhahabtunna ya akhawat. So if it's what if there was 1 brother and 4 sisters? What do we use now?
Still the masculine.
Tum. So do I say aina dhahabtunna or dhahabtum? Dhahabtum. So there's 1 man and 3 women. We'll still use the plural for the masculine. So aina dhahabtunna. We'll skip the jawab. You can also say ماذا أكلتن يا أخوات. What did you eat, oh sisters? And then we have kataba, to write. ماذا كتبتن. What did you write? Who can now read he done second person masculine. He can read the feminine second person. Anyone way? I know you know it. I just want to test someone. Go on. فعلتي فعلتما فعلتن صح. Should be easy because فعلتما comes twice, and so does فعلنا, as we'll mention soon. So now we're moving on to first person. I did an action. The scale is فعلت. فعلت. So now we have another ta, but this time the ta has a dhamma. فعلت. This is for both the man and the woman. They'll both say فعلت. This is the mutakallim, the speaker. It's both the same for man and woman. So now we've increased our fa'ala with a tu. The ta comes 3 times, I think. Fa'alta, fa'alti, and then we have fa'altuma. So fa'alti, fa'alta, and fa'altu. Okay? And this is first person. There's no difference between the man and the woman. That is why in the questions, I switched it up. If you look at the question, Aina dhahabta. Who am I speaking to now? The man. He'll say dhahabtu ila al-masjid. I went to the masjid. If you look at the second question, Mada akalti. Who am I speaking to now? The woman, directly, singular. And then she'll say akaltu lahman. So if you look at the answer, dhahabtu ila al-masjid, I went to the masjid. Akaltu lahman. There's no difference. There's no difference in the first person. And then the last example, I went back to the masculine. ماذا كتبت? What did you write? الجواب كتبت رسالة. And I plan on bringing Nahw, grammar, for those who didn't do the grammar with us, at the end of the lessons. So we know, why does the masjid take a kasra? Why is it إلى المسجد? And why is it لحما? حرف جر. حرف جر. For those who don't know.
I have a question. In the last one, why if it was ماذا كتبت? Is the answer still كتبت?
Yeah, that's what I mentioned. It is, yeah, I said the first person is the same. The man and the woman who both use فعلت. There's no difference. فعلت for the man and the woman. I mentioned that. The first person is both the male and the female. So look, ذهبت, I'm speaking to the man. أكلت, I'm speaking to the woman. And they both answered with the tu at the end of the verb. Am I going too fast? Okay. Then the last of our scales is فعلنا. We. فعلنا. What have we increased it by now? The nun and the alif. So we have fa'ala plus nun and the alif. Fa'alna, we did the action. Okay? This is for 2 people or 3? 3 or 2? So me, you done action, or all of us done action? Anything more than 1. Anything more than 1. So if you look at the questions, each question is different now. أين ذهبتم? I'm speaking to 3 plus men. They will say ذهبنا إلى المسجد. We went to the masjid. أين ذهبتم? Where did you go? ذهبنا إلى المسجد. We went to the masjid. ماذا أكلتن? 3 plus females. ماذا أكلتن? The answer will be the same. They will say أكلنا لحما. We ate meat. And the last example, I gave you a different one. ماذا كتبتما? Who am I speaking to now? 2. Male or female? And the answer will be كتبنا رسالة. كتبنا رسالة. And the we form includes anything more than 1, the man and the woman. So we asked ذهبتم. Then we said أكلتن. Then we said كتبتما. And the answer was always ذهبنا, أكلنا, كتبنا. فهمتم? What does فهمتم mean? Do you understand? No. فهم. to understand. We'll take 2 minutes, or no, we'll take a few minutes and we'll read to each other. If everyone can just go in twos. How many? In twos, if everyone can at least try and read from fa'ala until fa'alna and test each other. Go ahead. The question was, how do you differentiate between the mu'annath and mudhakkar if both end with tumma? Context. We have context. Sometimes, from reading it, you know the context. The alif is if you look at fa'alu ends with a wow. Now that can be mistaken. That can be mistaken to mean and without the alif. So after write an example, if I say ذهبوا وجلسوا like that, ذهبوا وجلسوا, that alif there is protecting it from anything that comes after it. So we know that it's not a conjunction, because in Arabic language waw means and. ألف الوقاية. ألف الوقاية. Okay, if you not memorize it, then you can split it up. That's my advice, to split it. Do 1 line a day. Do 1 line a day. And the thing is, if you look at the scales, it's all fa'ala increased by 1 or 2 letters. Literally increased by 1 or 2 letters. We've not opened the book. We've not even done an introduction of the book yet. However, we've done some parts of the book without even realizing. Ghaib is someone that's absent, but in this context it means third person, because when you're speaking third person, that person's not here. But ghaib literally means absent. What's your name? Ilyas ghaib. Ilyas is absent, like that. I haven't studied Nahw. Yes, you don't need Nahw for Sarf. And some people even say, some scholars will say Sarf is more important than Nahw. Some say that Sarf is more important than Nahw. But both can work together. It doesn't really matter which one you start with. Both are independent sciences and both are important. The difference between Sarf and Nahw is, Sarf is studying the whole word. What we're doing right now is we're studying from the beginning of the word to the end of the word. And Nahw is only the end of the word. So when we learn harf jar, we only learn why it's taking kasra, why it ends in a kasra. But now we are studying the whole word. So for some reason, that's why people find Nahw a bit more easier than Sarf. Sarf is from the beginning of the word all the way to the end, and how the whole word changes. Okay, we'll move on. If you can give me examples from or ayat that contain any of these verbs that we've taken, that'll be good as well. This is some that I brought myself. We have fa'alta. Now fa'ala, even though it's a scale that we're using, it actually has a meaning. Fa'ala. In the scale they say it means it's just a template. But fa'ala also means to do. Qalu. What's the meaning of qalu? They said. This is a verb meaning they said or they did. This won't come in this book. It will come in Sarf book 2 because it has a weak letter. So qalu from qala, it won't be covered in this book, but it means they said. And if you can see the ending, we've got the waw al jama'ah and the alif, so you can recognize it. A'anta. A'anta. What does a'anta mean? Can anyone? Na'am. The hamza that comes before the anta, who remembers the name of that? Hamzatul istifham. It's a questioning particle used. A'anta Muslim? Are you a Muslim? But this is Nahw, let's not get into this. Fa'alta. They said, A'anta fa'alta hada. Did you do this? Go to the slide that says Ayat in the Quran. No. قالوا, they said, أأنت فعلت هذا? They said, did you do this? بآلهتنا, to our gods, Ya Ibrahim. Why is it فعلت? Because they're talking to Ibrahim. The next one, وَوَضَعْنَا, on the scale, وَوَضَعْنَا, فَعَلْنَا, we. وَضَعَ is to place, but here in this context is to remove. عَنْكَ وِزْرَكَ وَوَضَعْنَا, we removed from you your burden. And this is I think they say in English, the royal we. Allah uses we, even though it's Him that does it. He does it. وَوَضَعْنَا, and we removed from you your burden. And here's another one. قَالَ, he said, هَلْ. Hal is the same as a. They're both particles used for questioning. You can say hal anta Muslim or a anta Muslim. There's no difference. Some books will start with the a, like Medina. Bayn yadayk, they'll start with hal. Hal hadha masjid? Is this a masjid? Or a hadha masjid? Is this a masjid? So he said, هل قال هل علمتم, the verb علم. What is علم? To know. قال هل علمتم, he said, do you know ما فعلتم, what you did? On the scale? فعلتم, do you know what you did بيوسف, what you done to Yusuf? We'll end soon, inshallah. So we have علمتم on the scale, فعلتم. Then we have the other scale, فعلتم. And the next one is كفرت. كفرت on the scale, إني كفرت. كفر, to disbelieve or disassociate. فعلت. And the last one, لقد خلقنا. And the verb is, can someone set up please? The verb is خلق. Okay, and inshallah will suffice for this. This is how you write your verbs. So if we want to build up our vocabulary, you have, go to the next slide. You have the madi, where you write your past tense verbs, and I've written some for you. ذهب, أكل, كتب, علم, حفظ, فهم. And on the next one, when we study the mudari', which is the present tense, you will put your present tense there. Then you'll do the amr, which is a command. This is how we study the book. Then we'll do masdar. And then you can write your translations there. Now, for the 3-letter verbs, you might need a dictionary to do the present tense. But from 4, 5, and 6, you don't need a dictionary. You can work out which one, what present tense goes with which past tense verb. Is that understood? Okay? So if you want to write your verbs or memorize verbs, you should do it like this. ذهب, أكل, كتب, علم, حفظ, فهم. And you'll know which verb, what scale each verb goes on. Also, you should know how to conjugate each verb. So if I just say علم means to know, how do I say you know? Or I know. How do I say I know? علمت. How do I say you all know? علمتم. We know is علمنا. On a scale, فعلنا. And that is the last slide. And no one done the homework last week, but these two are both the homework. The first one is you put ذهب in the gaps, or in the blanks. So the first one is, if you do the first one together, and I've done the translation if you don't know what word is a plural and what is a singular. الرجال, the men, something, إلى المسجد. So how do you say it? If you do the first one. ذهبوا. So الرجال ذهبوا. It can't be ذهبنا, it can't be ذهبت, it can't be ذهبتم. The men went to the masjid. And you do it for all of them. Fill in the gaps. Is that one understood? And the last one is you correct the mistakes. So look, the first one, متى ذهبت إلى المسجد يا محمد. Is that correct? What's the correction? متى ذهبت إلى المسجد يا محمد. And I've put the translation on the right side for both of them. Please remember to do it. Everyone should do the homework. Otherwise, I won't know who's understanding and who's struggling. Barakallahu feekum.